Welcome to the Alcohol Free Life podcast, brought to you by thesoberclub.com. I'm Janey Grace. This is for you if you've quit the booze or you'd like to, or maybe you're just sober curious. I'll bring you tips and motivation without any judgment, and there'll be inspiration from experts, quit-lit authors, and sober heroes. Hi and welcome to the podcast. I hope you've had a good week. It's been a bit of an emotional one for me. The Steve Wright celebration went out on Radio 2 on Bank Holiday Monday, wasn't it? And it just brings back all the memories. I was there in the audience at that event, but just brings back all the memories again, and you start getting into reminiscing and all of that stuff. Anyways, I actually had a lovely Bank Holiday weekend. I went to a festival and got to meet some friends and colleagues in the wellbeing industry, which is always good, including Clive, whose vitamins I always talk about. Absolutely love. Great to hear Clive speak. He's so knowledgeable, and he's going to be back on the podcast very soon as well. Also, if you are coming to our Sober Club event, our Sober Club 6th birthday event, which I'm really looking forward to, it's on Monday, the 8th of September at Club Soda. If you go to thesoberclub.com/events, then you'll find the link to tickets there, or you can just look at the show notes for this podcast. But anyways, hoping to have some of Clive's stuff there in our fabulous goodie bags that we're going to be giving to attendees. It's going to be a really fun event. We've got someone talking tapping. Sarah Holland is going to be talking about EFT, emotional freedom technique, and tapping. We've got Amanda Thomson from Noughty going to be telling us about how she set up the brand. We've got a few of our sober coaches who are going to be sharing wellbeing tips. And I think Tony is going to tell us a little bit about a project to get guys talking. And there's a bunch of stuff. But most of all, it's about connection. And there's just something so powerful about being connected, meeting with like-minded people in an amazing environment where you can get alcohol-free drinks. You can sit at a bar in central London and have alcohol-free drinks. I mean, what's not to like? And I'm giving a talk on wellbeing, of course. Forgot that bit. So it's going to be a fun event. It's Monday, the 8th of September, 7:00, Club Soda in London, and you need to get tickets in advance. It would be so great to see you there. I really hope some of you can make it. And then a few days after that, September the 11th, we kick off our pop-up shop at Hello Love in Bloomsbury. That's connected with the other work that I do around holistic living. But if anyone's interested in that, have a look at the stuff I do around my Platinum Awards, and see if you want to try some of the beautiful natural skincare, organic skincare products that we are going to have there at our pop-up shop. And then 13th of September, I am doing a book literary festival for my book From Wham to Woo. It's the Chiswick Book Festival, and I think my talk's around 6:30 in the evening, and I'm going to be interviewed by Janet Ellis. Now that's going to be really cool. Janet Ellis, as you know, is a former TV presenter and mum of Sophie Ellis-Bextor. So we'll have a fun chat, I think, about the music biz and all kinds of stuff in that session. And then throwing the tape all the way forward to October 25th to the 27th. I'm doing a retreat, a luxury detox retreat in association with Homefield Grange Spa. And it's going to be a fantastic weekend. We're focusing it all around extreme self-care, and I really mean that word extreme. So we're not just going to recommend that you stick a face mask on every now and then. We're talking extreme self-care, and we're going to look at everything that sits beneath that, around limiting beliefs and reducing anxiety and putting in place all the tools that support us to really live our best lives. So everyone is welcome to that. It doesn't matter if you're sober or not. Obviously, there's no alcohol, but there's plenty of time for Q&A as well on that weekend. So if you can treat yourself to a proper luxury retreat, then that's the one for you. So again, if you go to thesoberclub.com and /events, you'll find all of the info there. Um, my guest this week, honestly, you're just gonna love it, and I honestly I don't know what to say. I'm gonna leave him to intro himself possibly properly. Would you like to become an accredited sober coach? Have you quit drinking and found yourself looking for a new purpose? Thousands of people are searching for help to quit and live their best life without the booze. Our Sober Coach training gives you the tools, the confidence, and the community to support others. No experience needed, except knowing what it feels like to have drunk more than you wanted to. We start with 2 transformational in-person days. Then you join our coaches family with ongoing support and webinars to help you use your skills in ways that suit you. If you're already a coach or a therapist, this could be an in-demand extra string to your bow, or a whole new career opportunity as a Sober Club accredited coach. For more info, visit thesoberclub.com and click on the Become a Sober Coach menu item. Well, I think this might be the very first time I've ever interviewed an air guitar champion. Now, that is saying something. Piers Burnell, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
I just saw this stuff and this is just fantastic. I mean, you can't beat air guitar, and you have a very interesting story to tell. So we'll dive into a bit of your sober story, but let's just set the scene then. So you're literally just back from being part of the Air Guitar World Championships. Have I got that right?
That's absolutely right. And it's gone completely insane. I mean, I must have done about 20 interviews
Really?
with BBC and on BBC News London Tonight and BBC Breakfast because
Wow.
I mean, it's been great fun. But it all pretty much started from a random article from maybe 15 years ago or more.
Yeah.
I've been saying about 10 years, but actually realistically, time flies. So it's probably 15 or more about the World Championships in Finland. And I always thought, oh, that's quite quirky. But life, or it just, life gets in the way and other things and jobs and kids. And anyway, and when I got sober in 2018, I had a friend who went sober but just avoided all kind of social
Yeah.
interactions, especially in pubs and clubs. And weirdly, we kind of met. Actually, he helped me kind of take the move into what first started as a sober break without even thinking of actually giving up. I just thought that was actually way beyond me. So I thought maybe a week or two, because I knew I was going down I was on a path that could have no return because my younger sister died of she was a chronic alcoholic and she died age 30s. I can't quite remember, but it was in
Wow.
2010.
Yeah.
She died, and um, and then I kind of went through not wanting to live around 2013, 14, and anyway, you still don't really think it could
It's
be
just
related
incredible.
to
We
alcohol.
still don't make the link, even when
No,
someone
you
close
don't.
to us has died. I've heard people say this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't. And I think because um, back then, I think it was we didn't really have, from what I remember, sort of grey area drinking
No, we didn't. It wasn't talked
or
about. You're either
alcohol
completely at rock
related issues.
bottom.
It was either
Yeah.
the
Completely
stereotypical
at rock bottom or completely
alcohol.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what's been so great about the sober community. And
Yeah.
I didn't go to alcohol recovery meetings and things. I kind of just did it through friends, and the
Yeah. Yeah.
Instagram back then was of the sober community was very sort of the individual and connecting. And so we it, we didn't have to hit rock bottom in order to
No,
have
exactly.
the big
Exactly.
rock bottom, the big dun dun dun. And so anyway, eventually I one week became two and then three, and I had like three or four serious night sweats every night for about 2 or 3 weeks. And at the time, I just left working as a coroner officer, and we used to get deaths in that I can't quite remember what it was called, but it was sort of like alcoholic acid ketosis, something like that,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
the
yeah.
body goes into shock. Admittedly, it was mainly people that were malnourished and just kind of I can't quite remember exactly the
Mm,
science
mm.
behind it, but I took that risk and I was all right. And oh yeah, so we met up at a wake of all things a year later after him kind of sort of inspired me to take that break. And it was the first time he actually went into a venue that had alcohol. And I remember because he spoke. Well, have I got my dates mixed? I can't quite remember, but I remember when I first quit, I went to the pub that night because I had to. I didn't want to end up scared to kind of go in to pubs and socialize, and it's suddenly escalating into a big mental block. And so I wanted to do things outside of my comfort zone and just do things where I had no choice but to kind of embrace
Yeah.
stuff. And then last year, extended summer holiday, because at the time I was working at a school, I remembered the World Air Guitar Championships. And I entered and I got a place. And so I literally, with 2 weeks to go, I booked my flight and I flew to Finland, didn't know anyone, had no idea about it.
I mean, what we have
Obviously
to add
nervous.
in here, Piers, is that being sober makes you brave,
Yeah, well,
doesn't it? I mean, who would even do something like that?
I just thought this is something I've always wanted to do. And alcohol for me was a great excuse for me to procrastinate, to sit in a
Mm,
pub and talk and not do things. And I'm a creative person, and 90% of the stuff I created whilst either sozzled or slightly whatever, I
yeah,
wake up the
yeah,
next day and scrap a lot of it.
yeah.
So yeah, I flew out sober and I called myself sober man. So my because that's what I wanted to project to the world, that
Mm.
you
Can
can
still rock an air guitar sober.
absolutely. And it was massive. And the
Oh,
community, and it's been going 29 years, and I
wow.
met incredible people. And now I go to Belgium and France and perform there. And it's great for confidence, because especially with kids or anyone that kind of wants to engage with an audience but is slightly fearful, because it's like stand-up comedy but without having the pressure to actually tell jokes, learn jokes. It's acting but without having to learn lines, and you have 1 minute to perform. And you
Oh, is it 1 minute? That I was going to ask how much of the track, how much of the tracks you do. So is it one? It's literally always 1 minute, is it?
standard 1 minute,
Damned in 1 minute.
and
That's hilarious.
it's
So look,
incredible.
we have to just in case there is anybody, any younger people or perhaps anybody who's thinking, I'm not even quite sure what the hell it is. Just unpick it for us, because I'm guessing that you don't have to be able to play guitar.
No, I'll
I
unpick
mean,
it
can
with an air
can
pick.
you play? Can you play guitar?
No, I can't. But a lot of the others actually are in bands, and
Right.
when we're out
So,
there.
because if you can't play guitar and you don't play guitar, but you're doing air guitar, how specific are your movements? Are you actually playing the notes or the chords, or are you literally just wiggling your fingers
Well,
randomly?
it, it's it's a bit of both.
Right.
If you actually stood on stage miming a guitar,
Yeah.
your movements are so minimal that
Yes,
actually
exactly.
it's
Wouldn't be
quite
very
boring.
theatrical. Yeah.
So you need to. So if you're playing high pitched notes, you wouldn't like go right. That's a E or that, but
Yeah.
you get marked on your hands are in the right part of the fret
Right. Okay.
and
So you've
up
got a
in.
little bit of an understanding.
But then
Yeah.
you kind of, you put your flair into it. You put your
Yeah.
performance,
Well,
and
clearly it's all about the performance, isn't
oh
it?
yeah,
And
it's
and and didn't you do the last one dressed as James Bond?
I did this year. I
You've
wanted to put
definitely got a James Bond look, haven't you? So I thought
I'd much rather
thought
be
I
a
may as well
villain.
use it.
Thank you. I'd much rather be a villain though. But I so I left my sober man character. So I wore a kilt and a frilly shirt last year in
Right.
PMs because it was symbolic of when I used to wear my kilt to go to events. I would always get absolutely battered. It was my kind of party gear. So
Right.
going to Finland to perform sober in front of hundreds of people and all of that, it was my kind of I'm I'm wearing my party outfit, but
Yeah.
sober.
Yeah.
This time, because I knew so much more and I felt more confident, and I wanted to go back and just do something a bit different. And I thought, being the UK representative, what what better than James Bond? So I was James Bond double air 7.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I
So obviously you wore a, sharp suit
I wore my
and
tux,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
And then
absolutely.
a friend of mine made my DJ trousers into a pair of stripping trousers. So like Magic Mike, but
Oh,
in my case, Plumpy Piers. And at
you
the
whipped
end,
them off.
yeah, whip them off.
Oh,
Using that
that's so
top
Buck
shot,
Spears 1980s, isn't it?
that was the inspiration. So I went from
That's
James Bond
brilliant.
to Austin Powers in the space of 60 seconds.
Oh, that's hilarious. So
Um,
what tracks were you playing? I mean, not playing.
I edited 3 tracks into the minute. So I started with the traditional John Barry ding 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 ding.
Ah, the Bond themes,
Yeah.
right.
And then because I wanted to tell a story, beginning, middle, end of the world needs a hero. So we
Hmm.
introduced the hero, which is James Bond, ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
Always get a lady. So I go into a Spanish, slightly romantic version of Tomorrow Never Dies with one of the Bond girls from the film with a voiceover going,
Hmm.
"Oh James, I do not have the words." And then there's always the car chase and the explosions and saving. So I go into Guns N' Roses' "Live and Let Die."
Brilliant.
It's on my Instagram, and you could probably see it on BBC News as well. So you can always watch it if you want to have a giggle.
Yeah.
Um,
And so what kind of things did other contestants do then, just out of interest?
oh, they did. We had one of the German teams as toaster, so she wore like a toaster on her head, and it just all sorts. It's we had death metal costumes, we had vampire looking costumes, we
Wow.
had
Well,
it's just Google air guitar world
yeah, yeah.
championship.
It just sounds totally bonkers. I
And
love it.
it's great for confidence for the kids and all of that. And
Well, I mean, literally anyone can do it, can't they? That's what's fun. I
anyone,
mean, the interesting thing is when I think of air guitar, before I delve too deep, even into the recesses of my own brain, I I think a lots of us tend to link it with heavy metal. So we kind of think, oh, air guitar is for rockers shaking their long hair around, but clearly it isn't just that.
no, it isn't. And obviously that's the normal kind of thing because it's high energy music and the guitar riffs. But last year, one of the German contestants did almost like a bluesy number, and it's the projection. So sort of air guitars, it's almost like an extension of yourself. It's the music, and you're like conducting the music through you through performance art, and
Mm.
it's very visual. And honestly, if you just stood there with a any kind of track, whether it's kind of the opening chords of Pink Floyd's "Shine on You, Crazy Diamond" to "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses, the audience are on your side.
Mm.
And if you can kind of give it the bit of je ne sais quoi, which is we get marked on airness, and that's one of the things we get marked on. And the
I love
scores
it.
are taken inspired by figure skating. So it's 4.0 up to 6.0 decimals in between.
Mm.
So it's very tight.
Yeah.
And one of the things you get marked on is airness and our
Mm.
message of the air guitar community is world peace, make air, not war. And, back in '96, when it started, three students at university in Finland, because Finland love their rock music and all of
Mm,
that, was tasked with, for their university degree, how can you end, or rather, how can you create world peace? And they came up with this idea about air guitar. Maybe they were inspired by Bill and Ted and all of that.
yeah.
And it was, if you pick up an air guitar and spread love through music and performance, then you're not picking up a weapon.
Mm,
And it's literally escalated to the extent that it's worldwide. And next year is the 30th anniversary, and Oulu, which is the town where it's always been held, an hour flight north of Helsinki, it's going to be, it's purposely coincided that Oulu's going to be the European capital of culture next year.
right.
So they're going to be building a stage on the water, and it's going to be massive. So it's fantastic for the air guitar community.
So if any, you know, you mentioned the air guitar community. I mean, if anyone who wants to get involved, what would they do if anyone fancies having a go?
Get in touch with me, because I'm trying to start up a UK national championship again.
Great, great.
Last one we had, I think, was 2018. So we're going to try and do it again. And the winner of that ends up flying out to Finland, which was
Amazing.
great. So I'm in the process of trying to figure that out, and sponsorship and things.
Yeah.
But it's one of the other things I did when I quit alcohol was, a lot of the sober lot, we adventurous people, and that's another thing. A lot of people that do air guitar, and I met in Finland, is a lot of them have their own journeys. They don't have to be sober, but there's been a lot of history, and they find it very therapeutic.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
Totally.
I mean, I suppose it's a form of mindfulness, because you've absolutely got to be focused on that and nothing else.
And it's fun. It's all about
Yeah.
embracing absurdity and sense of humor, because
Yeah.
it is absurd. You're playing an air guitar, and we kind of, if your voice is classified as an instrument, we see an air guitar as an instrument, because it's an extension of yourself, even though it's
Yeah.
physical and real. So it's just embracing and having fun. And I organized a novice stand-up comedy with some of the sort of other sober people you probably know and things, at the Barons Court Theatre in West London. And we love that, because so many people I spoke to have always wanted to do stand-up comedy or speak in public, but we've had this fear of, oh my
Yeah.
God, I might completely bomb. And so I helped to kind of create a safe space, and they absolutely loved it, because it was fighting through the fear and being outside your comfort zone, but in a kind of safe space. And
Yeah.
hopefully I'll do
Yeah.
another one of those. And it was a complete challenge for me, because that's something I always wanted to do, but was, oh my God, no, no, no. Especially, can I do it sober? And
Yeah, exactly. It's just amazing, isn't it? When, you know, I think a lot of people, when they very first quit alcohol, there's definitely a fear of, can I still have fun and can I socialize and all of that? And you hopefully get over that relatively quickly, particularly if you've got connection and support. But then for people who are creative, there's sometimes that other fear, and I've heard musicians talk about this. Well, even Elton John spoke about it, didn't he, in Rocket Man? The
yeah,
fact that, will my creativity go? Will it disappear with my sobriety? Because for some bizarre reason, we've somehow got this idea that we can do our best work when we're a bit drunk. I mean, it's absolute BS, of course, but it's so deeply ingrained that there's this fear that you won't be able to let yourself go if you're sober. But clearly the opposite is true for you, and you've been able to step into who you really are in your full creativity, as it were.
it's because I have so much more clarity.
Yeah.
I think it uh, I'm not quite sure how to articulate it, but I don't think your creativity diminishes. I think it changes. It's a different kind of creativity that you have. And of course, there might be some good things when you're under the influence that you can kind of pick out. But I think there's more stuff to pick out actually when you're sober.
Absolutely.
And I think when you push yourself sober, because you're being totally authentic to yourself, to that situation, to that thing you've decided, chosen to commit to, that I think your creativity, it's the quality is it's better, it's more,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
just more to it.
It's just the authenticity of it, isn't it, really? It
Yeah.
it it feels very authentic, I think.
It's like when you meet people, or when you have a chat with people you've either just met or something, and they sober as well, that you have this fairly quick connection with them.
Yes.
As
Yes.
you, I mean, I do radio as well, and I always find that, and I only started doing that when I was sober, and that was really difficult because I thought, oh my God, will I be interesting? All of that stuff. How can I fill the silence? Because when you're under the influence, it's easy to fill the silence, but it's
Yeah.
also
Yeah. She's
it,
talking
people
BS.
don't want to hear that. They just think, oh my God, he's embarrassing. Um, so when you talk to people and meet people sober, I think you have the same relationship to creativity, because it's a reflection of your relationship to yourself, your
Mm,
relationship to how you view the outside world, how you create your own art, how you interpret your story, or whatever it is.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it will always be authentic
Mm,
to
mm.
whatever you're creating.
It is, and I think the other piece of this that is really key, and we've sort of touched on it, but the whole thing of pushing yourself a bit out of your comfort zone. I think people are so much more able and willing to do that once they've quit alcohol. I know so many people who've done things that they would never have dreamed
Yeah,
they would do because they just either it hadn't occurred to them or because they'd always had it as a kind of a bit of a dream, but if that couldn't be asked, basically. I haven't got the energy because everything just feels so heavy when you drink. Drinking takes up so much of your time, planning it, drinking it, recovering from drinking it. And when that's all gone, and you have that sort of sense of clarity and you have that sense of possibility, and so you're able to go after your dreams or your goals, or just push yourself just a little bit out of that comfort zone. And just like as you said, that opportunity came up for you, and I wonder whether you would have done it when you were drinking. It's
well, no, clearly not, because I first came across it 15 years ago and didn't do anything about
no,
it.
exactly,
And
amazing.
it's ironic because we 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 all know the saying Dutch courage,
Yeah,
yet
but it's not true, is it?
it's not true
It's
because I never
exactly
did it.
right.
I
Exactly
have the
right.
courage as a sober person now.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
And
What did people what kind of response did you get when you did this, that perhaps the first time when you made it very public that you were doing this sober? What kind of response did you get?
uh, incredible. So Finland and the organizers, and because it's all about accepting who you are, um, and that was my story, and they've been really welcoming. There was a couple of other people that were sober curious, some had just quit, and for someone to actually be there and stand in the circle. So when we all meet up, we all kind of do this circle thing where we kind of introduce ourselves and things. And there's 35, 40 of us.
Mm,
And I said, I'm sober, I'm come here as sober man, da, 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 this is why I've done it, etc., as we've been talking about. And lots of people come up to me and they go, I've been thinking about it,
yeah,
and it's
brilliant.
inspired people. And I'm so the I did BBC Berkshire before I went out. I did the follow up yesterday, but when I went out yesterday, and the one of the production teams called me up to do some sort of pre-chat, and they actually published the story on BBC
I think I saw it.
website,
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
and it's and it's so good because it's mentions they call me sober man.
Yeah, good, good.
And that's the whole reason why I kind of did air guitar. I mean,
Mm,
I do it for personal reasons, for fun, but that's why I wanted to go as sober man too, because I'm a real advocate for alcohol-free living, and that for those who are happy to talk about alcohol-free life and their story, I really encourage them to do it if they want to,
mm.
because it inspires other people. It makes other
Definitely.
people, it gives other people the invitation to
Totally,
come
totally.
forward and talk themselves.
Totally. I mean, what I mean, the fact is, you could have gone and done this for a bit of fun, and nobody needed to know whether you were sober or not. It's
Right?
not part of the gig. It doesn't matter. Nobody would have known. But the fact is, you chose to make that your identity, and I
Yeah,
love that. I love
it's
that because it's so inspiring, and as you say, it absolutely shines a light on the joy of sobriety. So well
yeah,
done, you. It's
it's
brilliant.
so important. So we go when we out there, we do karaoke instead of karaoke.
How many more of these have you got? I need to be
Yeah.
jotting them down.
So we all in the pub.
Karaoke.
Yeah, we all in the bars.
Well, I tell
And
you what, I mean, it's easy in the sense that you don't need any kit, do you? I mean, in all
no,
of my life as a singer,
yeah,
I've been with with various different bands and duos and God knows what, humping goddamn, speakers and keyboards and guitars into venues. You can just rock up.
yeah. And so we in the bar, we put on our favorite rock tracks and things, and we air drum, we air guitar, and strangers, from in the bar just join in, and it's a great workout. Like
Yeah, I
two,
bet.
3 hours just air drumming to your favorite air guitar,
I
whatever,
tell
to
you
your
what,
favorite track.
it is brilliant. One of the things I talk about ever so lot in the sober club in my community is when you're feeling really stressed, when really anxious, or everything just feels too much. What we often tend to do is we kind of go into our head and we try and think and we try and meditate and we try and sort it out in inverted commas in our head. And actually, often the quickest way is to just drop into the body, as long as you're safe in the moment. Drop into the body and let that take it. And if you
Yeah.
dance, you shake it out, you put a track on, you play air guitar. How cool is that? Do that for 1 minute or 3 minutes, and it changes your whole state, doesn't it?
It does because it's being joyful. You haven't numbed your feelings, and it's you're living in the moment, but you're
Yeah.
creating inner joy and externalizing it, so you feel great. You're kind of generating your own, I don't know, endorphins or something.
Yeah,
You know,
totally that. Yeah. Brilliant.
you aren't relying on poison or
No,
alcohol to
exactly.
create a skew with.
Exactly that. It's a natural high, a natural
Yes,
high. Love
exactly.
it. So what's next for you then, Piers? You're hoping to put together something in the UK. That sounds really exciting. So just give us your Instagram.
Sober and standing.
Sober and standing, yeah. Okay, great. Well, I'll put that in the show notes. So if anyone's interested, then you're the man to get together for the champion to put together some kind of UK scenario, UK championships. Yeah,
That's the plan. Might take a while, but
yeah,
that's the plan. And
yeah,
yeah, I call myself sober and standing because
yeah,
I no longer live my life face down. So
yeah.
that's
Exactly.
the
Love
thought
it. Love it.
behind it. But
Brilliant.
yeah,
Great. Well, thank you so much, Piers. It's great
pleasure.
fun. I love it. And well done you and just great that you're inspiring others with your bonkersness, really.
The absurdity of life.
Exactly
Mindful
that.
embrace it.
Exactly that. Love it. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Piers. And I think I'm right in saying that Piers is going to pop up at our sixth birthday celebrations. There's not an awful lot of space at Club Soda, but I reckon we'll get him rocking it somehow, won't we? We're bound to be able to manage it. The link, the Instagram, and all of that. It'll all be there on the show notes. So just a final reminder then for Monday, 8th September, for our sixth Sober Club birthday celebration. I haven't even mentioned that, of course, if you want to join us in the Sober Club, you would be most welcome. It is very low cost. It is very high value. Of course, I'd say that. But, it really is. We've got everything there. It includes an online course, Get the Buzz Without the Booze. There is inspiration and connection and accountability and a whole archive of well-being content, every topic you can imagine, really, from meditations through to nutrition, through to mindset stuff, through to a shaman doing movement medicine. It's all in there. So come and join us. If you don't like it, you can always leave. But most people feel a real sense of community. We have a private community. It's totally non-judgmental. I'm in it all the time. This is not something that I kind of run and then have other people running it for me. It's very much my baby, if you like. So do come and join us, thesoberclub.com. And please follow me on social media at Janey Lee Grace in all the usual places. And if you're struggling, just reach out. Maybe you don't want to join the Sober Club or anything else, and you're doing this alone. And if that's the case, tell someone. It's really important to tell someone, not to just do this between you and the voice of the wine witch. Tell someone who can hold a vision for you. I'm very happy to. So message me on social media. If I get the message, I will reply. Can't say fairer than that. Have yourself a fantastic week. Book those tickets for Monday the 8th and maybe for the retreat if you can. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Alcohol Free Life podcast, brought to you by the Sober Club. Please rate and review. And if you want support, accountability and inspiration, and you want to live your best life without the booze, check out thesoberclub.com.